Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Do you feel stuck, silent, and stressed? Is something hurting your heart and soul? Are you burning yourself out? If so, you are in the right place because this is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with inner peace and joy. Let's get started. Hey, last episode I started sharing with you the loving kindness meditation. I actually walked through the process that we follow to engage in the loving kindness meditation. And we started to talk about some of the details of how do you handle some of the challenges that can come up as you begin to engage in the loving kindness meditation. One of the biggest challenges that can come up with the loving kindness meditation is when you get to the stage, that's step 4 of the loving kindness meditation, when you need to practice thinking loving, kind thoughts towards the person that you are feeling in conflict with or that you have been holding on negative feelings towards. You know, depending on just where you're at in your process of healing and growth, it can be extremely, extremely challenging to allow yourself to think loving, kind thoughts for the person, right? And so what I told you was that, look, there are 4 basic steps to the loving kindness meditation. The overall goal of the meditation is to practice loving kindness, practice being loving kind, practice thinking loving kind thoughts. And there are 4 steps to the process. Step 1, you think loving kind thoughts towards yourself. Second step, you think loving, kind thoughts towards someone that you love. Third step, you think loving, kind thoughts for somebody that you feel very neutral towards, that you neither hate nor love. Okay? And then step 4 is when you think the loving, kind thoughts for the person that you're in conflict with, right? So it's like, okay, wow, yeah, it's pretty clear, pretty obvious as to why we may find ourselves really challenged to think loving, kind thoughts towards somebody that we are in conflict with, that we are holding anger towards and hatred towards even, right? Because they've probably done something that has really, really hurt us. I mean, not probably done something. If you're feeling angry at someone, if you're feeling hateful towards someone, it's not for no reason. There's a very good reason for why you're feeling the way you're feeling, right? So it's like, okay, and so now there's this really good reason for why you're feeling the way you're feeling, and now it's like, I'm saying, okay, practice loving kindness. Just put aside all those reasons and think loving, kind thoughts towards this person. My gosh, yeah, it absolutely can be challenging, right? But it is a challenge that is important for us to take on. And one of the things that actually helps us to take it on and to move through it is by holding to the process of the loving kindness meditation, that you really follow the steps, okay, that you don't try to jump around. So start with thinking loving, kind thoughts towards yourself. It's critically important. Look, I told you that you could do this two ways, right? You could either put on a timer and be like, okay, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes and I'm going to spend 5 minutes on each step, right? And so you just do it in that very systematic way. And that's fine. That's actually a great way to begin the practice. Especially if you are new to practicing meditation in general, right? It's good to have that kind of structure to help you and guide you and just master the process, okay? And then once you have achieved a certain level of mastery, then you can begin to allow yourself a little bit more freedom, a little bit more leeway in terms of just not worrying so much about the time anymore and just engaging in the process more organically, right? So for example, right now, at my current level of growth and development and where I'm at in terms of my relationship with myself, by the grace of God, I have really great self-esteem. I love and accept myself unconditionally. I actually really, really love myself. Aww. I mean, just thinking about loving myself makes me smile. It's like just how much I love myself. It makes me, just thinking about that makes me smile. And I have a really awesome relationship with myself, right? So when I engage in the loving kindness meditation now, you know what? Even now, I will always start with myself. I will always start with myself, but it doesn't take me very long at all to begin to experience that sense of great loving kindness for myself when I begin the process, right? So maybe I will stay on step 1 for a minute or 2 minutes, and just enjoy that feeling of showering myself with loving kindness. And that's really important, okay? It's really, really important that you allow yourself to feel good in that way, So it's like never skip that step. Never skip that step. Even if you think you don't need it, just stick with the process. Like really, just allow yourself to receive that gift, okay? It will not do you any harm, and it will only do you good. Even if you think you can do without it, just allow yourself to receive that gift. It will, help. It will only help. It can only help. Okay, so that's like really important. Okay. Now, the other reason why it's really important, even if you think that you don't need it, why is it really important? Because look, remember, the way we think impacts the way we feel. Okay? So if I have a really good relationship with myself, a loving, kind relationship with myself, like I do, and so I start with thinking loving, kind thoughts towards myself, it helps me to just uplift my energy to an even more positive level really, really quickly. And that is exactly what I want. I want to uplift my energy, my emotional state into an even positive, more higher state. Okay? So if you already have a good relationship with yourself, that's, wow, that's even better. And why it's still important. That's exactly why it's still important, because you know what, it's just going to be even easier for you to really get into a even more positive state really, really quickly. Okay, now if you don't currently have a very excellent relationship with yourself, then it is still really important that you don't skip yourself. Okay, because my gosh, if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, wow, when you practice loving kindness, thinking loving kind thoughts towards yourself, it's just one of the many things that you're going to do for yourself that's going to help you to develop that healthier relationship with you, that's going to help you learn to love and accept yourself to a greater degree. Okay, so whether you have a great relationship with yourself or not, step one is still critically important. Okay, and that's why I was saying that, it's like really great if once you have mastered the process, if you can kind of not worry so much about the clock and just kind of do it organically. So just kind of keep at it, just keep at step one until you feel that shift of, oh yeah, I really am showering myself with loving kindness and I'm experiencing the good results of that. Just stay with it, right? Similarly, again, if you have the time and you have that level of competency with the process, when you go to step two and you are now showering or holding on to loving kind thoughts for the person that you love, you could time it or just organically just do it until you really feel that shift. Where you can really feel yourself meaning what you're saying with all your heart and soul. Okay, and same thing with step three. You can either do it by the clock, or if you have the time and the capacity, the skill, then just do it organically until you feel the shift again, where you can really, I really mean it. I really do want this person that when I started out with, engaging in step three, I felt very neutral towards this person. But I'm holding on to these intentions of loving kindness for this person, and I'm doing it with such sincerity that, wow, I'm actually feeling a sense of greater connection and greater love, not in any sexual way, of course, but just, human to human love for this person that maybe I barely even know, but, just because I've been holding these loving, kind intentions towards them in this deliberate way, I just feel a sense of greater connection with this person, and I really mean it. I really do wish them well, And same thing, like ideally, when you get to step four so by the time you've been through step one and you've been through step two and you've been through step three, each step of the process, is going to help you uplift your energy, uplift your emotional state of feeling positive, and that sense of loving kindness, that experience of loving kindness. Each step is going to help you become more and more grounded in it, and feel it more with more aliveness within you. Okay. And you want that. You want to build up that positivity, that sense of loving kindness within you as strongly as you can, and build it up to as much of a high pitch as you can, because you're coming up to step four, which is the most challenging step. potentially, right? And so you need to be in your best, highest energy in order to take it on, right? And because you have gone through step 1 and step 2 and step 3 and built up and built up and built up your positive state of mind and heart, it is exactly going through this process that allows you, that sort of helps to open up your heart and helps to open up your capacity to actually now begin to hold loving, kind intentions towards even the person that you're in conflict with. So yeah, you know what? If you were to try and just start with wishing or holding loving, kind thoughts, meditating on loving, kind thoughts towards the person you're in conflict with, if I told you just start with that right now, probably 99% of us would find it completely ridiculous and absurd and even impossible to do. Okay? And for very good reason. So it's really important that you maintain the integrity of this process. Go through it step by step by step by step. Because going through the steps actually is building up your loving kindness muscle, so to speak. It's opening up your heart, developing your capacity. So it's a very, very, very important process. So now you see why last episode I told you that when you get to step 4 and you find that you still really cannot engage in step 4, then at least be disciplined enough that you don't break the meditation. But what I will, say is that instead of struggling with yourself unsuccessfully, to think loving, kind thoughts towards the person that you're in conflict with, go back to step 1. But hold on to this. Don't end your meditation or your loving practice of the loving kindness meditation in that negative note. You go back to step 1, think more loving, kind thoughts towards yourself. And you see, it's what that allows you to do is not only, get back to a more positive place emotionally, because it's showering myself with more loving kindness. But again, it's the more you shower yourself with loving kindness and allow yourself to accept that loving kindness towards yourself, the more you will build up your capacity to be loving and kind towards everyone else. Okay, so because remember that your relationship with yourself forms the blueprint of all your other relationships. So the stronger you get in the sense of loving kindness for yourself, the easier you will find it to be loving and kind towards anyone else. Okay, so the next time when you go through the loving kindness meditation process, again, you every time you go through it, you're building up your muscles, your loving kind muscles. And you know what? It takes time to build strength in the muscles and to develop bigger, greater capacity, right? And the stronger your loving kindness muscles get, the bigger the weights you'll be able to lift and handle with ease and grace. So the main thing to remember right now is just commit to practicing the process and stick with it. Give yourself time. Be patient with yourself. And just enjoy it. Just like really enjoy it. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead, wrap up right here for today. And in our next episode, we'll dig a little deeper into the wisdom of the loving kindness meditation, like all the amazing lessons of wisdom that we can learn by just looking at examining the process of the loving kindness meditation more deeply. So I'm so excited about that. All right, so until we connect next time, I just want to give you a quick reminder that, hey, if you find yourself struggling with this, please don't continue to struggle with it on your own. Reach out for help and support. You will make your life so much easier by doing so. And I'm one person that you can reach out to for the help and support that you need. And you know how to get in touch with me. Just go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com. Click on the Contact Us tab and you'll see different options for how you can connect with me. So until we connect next time, I wish you lots of peace and joy.